So we don't have to start that S2L, S3L from the bottom string. We could start it from here. 2, 3, 4, right? D, E, F, 5, 6, G, A, 7, root 2, B, C, D. All right? We could start it from there. Now let's watch what happens. This is a virtual keyboard. It's not real. Unless I took these two strings here, if I took the top two strings and I tune them up a half step each so that the tuning would be, sounds like the beginning of that Beatles cartoon or something, then this would be the note map. But it's not. The top two strings are down tuned. But everything in the guitar is backwards. So when you down tune a string, your pattern goes up. What note you want goes up. Alright, so looking at it now, above the G, a perfect fourth would be a C. But when you down tune that string, that C moves up to get that perfect fourth. Because everything's kind of backwards. Always think backwards in guitar. Always consider things backwards. Because, you know, it's wonderful the way it really works. You know what I'm saying? For instance, with Caged, you start on Ionian. Actually, the C starts on the Phrygian. So it's C, A, okay, C goes to A, goes to G, so it's C, A, G, E is Ionian, and D is Dorian, right? Locrian and Lydian are encapsulated by two of the other ones. Locrian's encapsulated by Ionian, well, Ionian's encapsulated by Locrian, and Lydian is encapsulated in chambers with Phrygian. Okay, but what I'm saying is, so it goes C, A, G, E, and D. But guess what? If you do it backwards, what Cage spelled backwards? It's a pentatonic ascending scale. D, E, G, A, C. See, so there's these backwards relationships. You notice them. You don't just take everything and look at it backwards. You just realize, wow. You try to get some way to memorize it and look at it. So, where were we? We have warped this. We looked at that. These colors have their own meaning. They don't correspond to these colors. The colors on this fretboard correspond to the colors on this piano keyboard. We can put it back to the way it was, which is the normal keyboard. This is what your keyboard is. If I was put a capo on it or something, that E is right there, right? It would be B, E, G sharp, right there. Now, I've been having to check my my patterns today more than usual. Okay, one thing about this is the barred pattern. Okay, I don't see this used a lot. It's the easiest pattern. It's just the S3L and the S2L. Okay, excuse me, that's not the barred pattern. We should have the barred pattern. There it is. There's the barred pattern. Wow, we can't get that barred pattern. I guess I'll have to make my video box a little smaller. Okay, so I guess I could do that. I could kind of get rid of me or move me around. Wow, okay, I can move me around. Okay, good. Go move me over. I think for some reason I was over too far. You don't want to go full screen, right? Because we'll never be able to get back. We'll never be able to get back to regular. This pattern, it doesn't get enough credit. S2L underneath an S3L, over an S2, over an S3L, an S2L. You know, you just build them straight if you add the 4th and the 7th. Add the 4th and the 7th. These patterns came from the pentatonics, okay? So with the C starting on the E is an S2L on the bottom, 3, 5, 6 R, right? And that would be, what am I playing there? Okay, that would be this right here, 3, E, G, A, C. 3, 5, 6, 7. The reason why there are no numbers on this is because the same reason you don't see something labeled on someone's piano any numbers. Yes, you can put note names on them, but to put numbers on it, you're locking it into a key. So that's why it looks kind of smooth. It's smooth on the eyes because it is versatile. You can play anything on this just like you play anything on the piano. You decide what key you're in. And that brings us, well, before we get to the subject of today's lesson, okay, just to finish up on the long pattern. So a lot of people use this pattern, okay, and it's a repeating pattern. In other words, the S4L leads to the S3XL. So the stack of 4 long, this guy over here, okay, this one over here, the stack of 4 long leads to the S3L, all right. And how's that lock in? It locks in, it's almost like an S3XL sandwich. You've got 2, 3, 4 under here, okay, which is the bottom of an S3L. And then the 5, 6 is a 5, 6 substitution. Notice the S3XL starts on 5, 6 and ends on 5, 6. So you can just collapse it down into a 5, 6 and substitute it into this. So that's all this part is. It's a 5, 6 substitution into the S3L. So it's one giant S3L there, right? Is it not? Is it not? The whole thing right there is a big giant S3L, right? Because it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do all this, you know, amazing. Do another 10 years of this stuff, and then 5, 6 again. Oh, well, I can just continue on the shifted over S3L. Sorry. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to go back to where this original one was. Where that original one was, that is that R. That is that R and that 2, and the 7 you don't hit, because usually people play this on the fret nut where you can't get that 7. That's why it's not part of the pattern. You're going to go to the next, shift to the next one over. All right, they rotate on this 2 is the glue between 2 S3Ls. Okay, and I can show you that on the 7L diagram here. Okay, if I could, whoop, we've gone to another. Oh, this is just yesterday's. Okay, yesterday's. All right, let's see if we can get this 7L to behave here. All right, there it is. Now, what I was talking about was you have a S3L here, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 R2. S3Ls hinge on 2s. They go up diagonally.